Greetings, seekers of the hidden. We continue our journey through the labyrinths of forbidden knowledge. Last time we touched upon the figure of thrice greatest Hermes himself, and today his greatest legacy will be revealed, a text that made kings tremble and scholars spend sleepless nights in their laboratories. The Emerald Tablet. Legend has it that this artifact was found in a deep cave, in the hands of the mummy of Hermes himself, entombed within the Great Pyramid or a mysterious tomb in Hebron. It is said that the first to behold these lines after the Great Flood was Alexander the Great himself, the greatest conqueror, who sought not lands but immortality. Imagine the dim light of a torch, the scent of millennia-old dust, and the cold radiance of a green stone. This was no earthly emerald. The tablet is described as a substance created through alchemy, transparent, eternal, and indestructible. Upon it, in a language resembling Phoenician, were carved words that became the key to all mysteries of existence. Many consider the tablet a myth, yet its influence on our reality is absolutely material. Without these 13 lines, there would be no modern chemistry, no Jungian psychoanalysis, not even the theory of relativity. This is the DNA of Western mysticism. Let us then delve into these lines as the initiated did thousands of years ago. The first line of the tablet states, "Truly, without lying, certainly and most eminently true." Hermes begins with an oath. He knows that what follows will seem like madness or a fairy tale to the human mind. He confirms the truth of his words thrice, breaking through our skepticism. The second line is the heart of all philosophy. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to do the miracles of one thing. Remember these words. Encoded within them is the structure of the entire cosmos, from the atom to the galaxy. The third line continues, "And as all things were from one, by the mediation of one, so all things arose from this one thing by adaptation." Here, the tablet speaks to us of the primal matter, of that very soup of energy from which all that we see and touch is woven. The fourth and fifth lines describe the parents of this power. The father is the sun, the mother is the moon, the wind carried it in its belly, the earth is its nurse. This is not mere poetry. It is a description of the interaction of masculine and feminine energies, the active and passive principles which we explored in the first video on the Kybalion. The sixth line, "The operation of the world is here. Thelema is will." The tablet asserts that the source of control over all reality is hidden right here, in this text, in this formula. From the 7th to the 13th line, Hermes provides instructions for the transformation of the spirit, which we will explore a little later. Let us focus on the main formula. As above, so below. What does this mean for us? It is the law of correspondence. Look at the structure of an atom, a nucleus and electrons revolving around it. Now look at the solar system. The structure is identical. The microcosm reflects the macrocosm. This means that the universe is not a collection of disparate pieces, but a single living organism. If you understand how a planet moves, you can understand how a cell in your blood moves. If you understand the laws of your soul, you understand the laws of God. This is the bridge between science and spirit. Hermes teaches us that there is no separation. Separation is an illusion of our limited perception. Your destiny is not chance, but a reflection of celestial rhythms. Your thoughts below create events above, and vice versa. It is an infinite mirror reflection, where every ripple matters. 4 levels of meaning are hidden within this phrase. The first is physical, the fractality of matter. The second is psychological. Our inner world creates the outer. The third is spiritual. Man is created in the image and likeness of the Creator. The fourth is alchemical. Manipulation of the small changes the great. Remember our first video on the Kybalion. We spoke of the law of correspondence. The Emerald Tablet is the primary source of this law. Without understanding the tablet, the Kybalion remains merely a collection of beautiful phrases. The tablet, however, gives us the technology to apply this knowledge in life. In the 20th century, science unexpectedly confirmed Hermes's truth. Benoit Mandelbrot's fractal geometry proved that complex natural forms, coastlines, clouds, the circulatory system, are built on the principle of self-similarity. A small part always repeats the structure of the whole. As above, so below. Look at a magnified image of a brain neuron and compare it to a map of matter distribution in the universe, obtained by astrophysicists. They are identical. The universe is a giant brain, and we are its cells. Or perhaps we are thoughts within this cosmic consciousness. Even our DNA follows this principle. In every tiny cell of your body, information about the structure of the entire organism is encoded. You are a hologram. Cut off a piece of a hologram, and the entire image will still be visible within it, simply at a lower resolution. The ancient Egyptians knew this without microscopes. They built temples as earthly reflections of constellations. The pyramids of Giza are an earthly projection of Orion's belt. Why? To do the miracles of one thing, as the tablet says. To unite the energies of heaven and earth at a single point.
Fractality means that you do not need to fly to distant stars to know the mysteries of the cosmos. You need only look within yourself. As the wise one said, "Know thyself and you will know the gods and the universe." The tablet is the roadmap for this inner journey. Let us turn to quantum physics. The concept of quantum entanglement, which Einstein called spooky action at a distance, is a direct scientific translation of the Emerald Tablet. Two particles, once a single whole, continue to react instantaneously to each other, even if separated by light years. If all of existence was once a single point at the Big Bang, then everything in the universe remains connected to this day. Your thought here could echo as a supernova's flash on the other side of the galaxy. The tablet declares all things were born from this one thing. The connection is unbreakable, instantaneous. Within the tablet there is a phrase, "Separate the earth from the fire, the subtle from the gross, with great skill and diligence." This describes the process of purifying consciousness. In the quantum realm, it mirrors decoherence, the emergence of a specific reality from an ocean of probabilities. Hermes knew the observer influences the observed. This is the foundation of quantum mechanics. The tablet teaches us to be that observer, the master, capable of separating the subtle from the gross, the spiritual meaning from the material noise, thereby shaping our own reality. When we speak of the miracles of the one thing, we speak of the zero-point field, the quantum vacuum, which is not empty but brimming with infinite energy. The alchemists called it azoth. Modern physics calls it the quantum field. The essence is the same, and the tablet offers the key to mastering this field. For medieval alchemists, the tablet was the recipe for the philosopher's stone. But they were not so foolish as to seek merely a path to riches. The transmutation of lead into gold is a metaphor. Lead represents the dense, dormant consciousness of the ordinary person. Gold signifies the enlightened spirit. The tablet describes the process. This thing ascends from the earth to the heaven and again descends to the earth, receiving the strength of both the higher and the lower realms. This is the cycle of transformation. You must elevate your consciousness to the heights of the spirit, and then bring that power back down into the body, into earthly life. If you only meditate but do not act in the world, you are no alchemist. If you only bustle in matter, forgetting the spirit, you are no alchemist. The true great work occurs at the intersection. You become the conduit through which heaven impregnates the earth. Thus you will have the glory of the whole world, and all darkness shall depart from you, Hermes promises. Darkness here is ignorance and fear. One who understands the principle of the tablet ceases to be a victim of circumstance. They realize they are the smith, and their life is the incandescent metal upon the anvil of will.
Alchemy is not the chemistry of the past, it is the psychology of the future. Carl Gustav Jung dedicated years to studying alchemical texts and the tablet. He understood that the alchemists were describing the process of individuation, the integration of a whole personality from the scattered fragments of the psyche. The roster of those who revered the tablet as the greatest of sacred texts is astonishing. Paracelsus, the great physician, healed people by adhering to the law of correspondence. He believed every illness had its celestial twin, and the remedy must be sought by following the signs of the tablet. Isaac Newton, the father of classical physics, left behind over 1 million words in alchemical manuscripts. His personal translation of the Emerald Tablet is still preserved at Cambridge. Newton believed the laws of gravity were merely a specific instance of a more ancient Hermetic law. Newton sought within the tablet a means to influence matter through spirit. He understood that the universe was not a clockwork mechanism as his contemporaries believed. It was a living thought, and the tablet was his textbook for reading this thought. John Dee, advisor to Queen Elizabeth I and a master magician, built his systems of angelic communication upon Hermes' 13 lines. He believed the tablet was a mathematical code, capable of opening doors to other dimensions. Even in our time, the greatest minds return to this text, because the tablet offers what dry science cannot. Meaning, it unites formula and feeling, law and miracle. It makes the world sacred once more. But the tablet's journey through the ages was not paved with roses. In the Dark Ages, when the Church established a monopoly on truth, Hermetic knowledge became mortally dangerous. The tablet was called a devil's whisper, and those who preserved it faced the pyre. The Inquisition hunted for Hermes texts with particular zeal. Why? Because the tablet states you yourself can become a god. This stripped the Church of its power as an intermediary. Why need a priest when you yourself are a microcosm, reflecting all the light of the Creator? Copies of the tablet were burned, libraries were destroyed. But knowledge cannot be burned, it went underground. Secret societies, Rosicrucians, Freemasons, alchemical brotherhoods passed these 13 lines from mouth to ear, encrypting them in symbols and architecture. If you look at the great cathedrals of Europe, you will see the emerald tablet frozen in stone. The rose windows, the geometry of the arches, the placement of the columns, all are a silent hymn to the law of correspondence. Hermes continued to speak even when commanded to be silent. The tablet survived thanks to those who understood. Truth belongs to no single religion. It belongs to humanity. And while fires burned in Europe in the East, Hermes' knowledge found a new home. During the golden age of the Arab Caliphate, Muslim scholars preserved the legacy of antiquity. It was through Arabic translations that the text of the tablet was saved for us. Hunayn ibn Ishaq and the great Jabir ibn Hayyan, known in the West as Geber, were the true inheritors of Hermes. The Arabs called Hermes Idris and considered him a prophet. For them, the tablet was not magic, but the highest form of science. They developed the most complex chemical processes, attempting to decipher the lines about the separation of the subtle from the gross. The tablet returned to Europe during the Renaissance, through Spain and the trade routes of the East. Marsilio Ficino, commissioned by Cosimo de' Medici, translated the Hermetic corpus before the works of Plato. This sparked an explosion of intellectual freedom. The Renaissance is literally the rebirth of Hermeticism. Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Botticelli, their art is imbued with the principle of as above, so below. They didn't just paint people, they painted divine proportions embodied in flesh. Thus, the tablet completed its full circle, passing through the hands of Egyptian priests, Greek philosophers, Arab alchemists, and European scholars. And today, it emerges from the shadows once more, this time in the guise of modern theoretical physics. Today we speak of the holographic principle of the universe. Physicist David Bohm, a colleague of Einstein, and neuropsychologist Carl Pribram concluded that our world is a projection, a hologram, and within every part of this hologram lies the information of the whole. Michael Talbot, in his book The Holographic Universe, directly points out that modern discoveries are merely echoes of the ancient truths of the Emerald Tablet. If the world is a hologram, then the principle as above, so below is a technical description of how this hologram functions. This changes everything. If you alter information at one point in the field, it changes everywhere. Your consciousness is not trapped within the confines of your skull, it is distributed throughout the very fabric of existence. You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a single drop. Science is beginning to understand that matter is simply condensed light or energy vibrating at a low frequency, as we discussed in the video on the Kabbalion. The tablet calls this the force of all forces, which penetrates every solid thing. We stand on the precipice of a grand unification, when physics and mysticism finally shake hands, and at the center of this union lies a small green stone with 13 lines of text. But how do we apply this knowledge today? The practical application of the tablet begins with meditating on its text. Do not try to understand it with logic. Logic is the earth, and you need the heavens. Sit in silence. Imagine your body as a vessel. Inhale, visualizing yourself drawing in the light of the stars above. On the exhale, direct this light into the center of the earth through your feet below. Feel yourself becoming that very vertical line, connecting worlds. This is the first step, realizing yourself as a bridge. You are no longer a separate being, you are part of the chain. The second step is working with intention. The tablet speaks of the separation of the subtle from the gross. In every problem you face, there is the gross, facts, suffering, and the subtle, the lesson, the energy. Learn in meditation to cut through the noise of emotions to see the pure crystal of meaning. The third step is the alchemy of the word. When you utter I am, you activate the tablet's mechanism. Whatever you place after these words will become your reality below, because it already exists as potential above. Be mindful of your words. The tablet is not a spell. It is the tuning of an instrument. Your soul is a violin. If it is out of tune, the music of the universe will sound like cacophony to you. The tablet provides the tuning fork. The 7 steps of the ritual correspond to the 7 laws of the Kabbalion, which we discussed earlier. What will happen if you truly comprehend all 13 lines? Hermes says, you will attain the glory of the whole world. This does not mean you will become famous. It means you will see the world in its true radiance, free from the veil of illusion. The fear of death will vanish, for you will understand that you are eternal, like that very one thing. Difficulties will become mere stages in the alchemical process of refinement. You will begin to see connections where others see chaos. Your life will gain the density and taste of gold. You will become what the ancients called a theurgist, a divine worker, a person who consciously participates in the evolution of the universe. This is a profound responsibility, but also the greatest freedom imaginable. Remember, the knowledge of the tablet is not given freely. It demands purity of heart and clarity of mind. If you use it for the sake of ego, it will turn to ash. But if you seek truth, it will become your eternal companion. Our journey in the footsteps of Hermes does not end here. In the next video, we will delve even deeper into the scientific validation of his words. We will explore Michael Talbot's concept of the holographic universe. We will learn how our thoughts literally sculpt physical reality. Subscribe to Forbidden Knowledge if you are ready to go all the way. Give us a like if you felt the resonance of these ancient lines within your soul. And remember, what you seek is already within you. Until we meet again in the next space.